Rising property taxes in Lucas County, some of that by mistake.
A programming error inflated some property valuations, causing concerns and costing people money. And today we've learned that more affected properties are being added to that list. Lucas County property valuations is the big story today.
More than 1,000 more Lucas County properties have been overvalued. Lucas County Auditor made that announcement today as the fallout from the programming glitch continues.
It has some people asking how many more problems might be out there. I-Team reporter Sean Haggerty has that answer from the County Auditor today. Sean?
Yeah, she told me that she believes that the issue, the glitch, is fixed and the people affected have been identified, but it has lots of people concerned about their own properties. Today, a meeting of the Lucas County Board of Revision to discuss some of these other properties. They accepted the new property values for 1,095 properties. After an internal investigation, they were identified as being affected by that programming error, the glitch, that was connected to the grade assigned to the condition of people's homes. Now, last week we told you about 346 other properties that were wrong as well. Now, people can still challenge their property values if they believe that it is too high and they are not connected to that programming error. Many people have told me that there is a trust concern now from those property owners over the last couple of weeks, but Auditor Katie Moline says they believe the glitch issue is addressed and people will now be notified.
The actions by the Board of Revision this morning conclude our investigation into those properties that were impacted by this programming error. And now we move on to the next steps to ensure that we prevent and detect any mistakes like this ever happening again.
Coming up tonight on Action News at 6 o'clock, find out why some homeowners are worried about what they heard today and what they did not hear. Tina?
Well, this all started back in September of 2024 during the scheduled revaluation that happens every 3 years. Now, that's when the Lucas County Auditor announced that home values were going up on average about 29.5% starting in 2025. A month later, some property owners started receiving their revaluation notices. And in some cases, people said their notices arrived after the deadline for an informal dispute of that number. The I-Team spoke with someone who owns both residential and commercial properties, and he told us he received his residential revaluation notices with plenty of time to challenge, but had the opposite experience with his commercial properties when those notices arrived weeks late.
Told me I needed to submit an email in right away because I'm at my deadline, and come to find out it's past my deadline and I just received the letters.
Now, there were a lot of people who got those valuations on time, but were shocked with the higher values.
Earlier this month, our I-Team investigated those increased property values and the glitch that causes rising values for some owners. It was an issue first discovered during community meetings when some people came in with property values that had or increased 70 or 80%. Because the county had an October 31st deadline to submit value from the state, the auditor sent the values to Columbus and said she would work with people after the fact. That number actually grew today.
We looked at it and we go, gosh, that's odd, but we thought maybe it was just one error, isolated to maybe a couple properties. And then we saw a trend emerge. Unfortunately, because of the timing of when I had to submit the values to the state by the end of October, there wasn't enough time to fix it, investigate it, make sure that it was proper and correct it by the time I had to file the final values. And I didn't want to jeopardize the county's funding.
The auditor's office says people can file a formal appeal with the Board of Revision until March 31st, and the office is anticipating hosting additional events in the coming weeks to walk people through an appeal.
So if you didn't get one of those letters saying that your property was part of this programming error, but you still want to challenge that increase, you can go right here. This is the Lucas County Auditor's website, and this is the Board of Revision section where you can actually challenge your value. It lays everything out here. Step number one is that you could click this little area that says file a complaint online. That's going to take you to an online portal that looks similar to this. You have to set up an account to get to the next steps. Another option, if you go back to this first page, would be submitting it in writing. You can do that by following all the prompts here, and then you're given a hearing. It's a 30-minute hearing, and it's essentially your chance to make your case as to why you feel your property value is, in most cases, too high. That's why people would argue this. And it is on you to actually prove that by providing recent home sales and other things that you think would help. Then they make that final decision. Again, this is on the Lucas County Auditor's website.
Those values directly affect your property taxes, and lots of families say they're surprised with the tax bills they recently received. The amount you owe is based on that value calculated last year. So if you're in the glitch group or you're fighting your value, the final amount may be wrong. For the Gross family of Oregon, the property value went up 101% around this time from the last evaluation 3 years ago. Now, they did find themselves on the first list of the glitch, and their value was changed. Their tax bill was based on that old amount. It was due at the end of the month, but they now have an extension.
I don't agree to pay the overinflated because I'm not guaranteed that we would get that amount back. We're talking a few $1,000s.
The deadline to pay those taxes for the 346 property owners and the new 1,000 on the programming error list will be extended to February 28th. If people overpaid already, they will receive a reimbursement.
And of course, we're going to stay on your side here, keeping an eye on your wallet this entire tax season. You can get updates as we continue to follow the Lucas County property tax issues by downloading the 13 Action News app. It is available as a free download in your phone's app store.